Welcome back, everybody. We are kicking off the next round of episodes. I don't have an intro prepared. It's been a hectic day. We've got 11 episodes to go. And quite honestly, I think most of the psychos, I think we're going to see the psychos are all going to get their first round of deaths in this batch of episodes. They're going to come back because of hand wavy digitizing bullshit. Hi. But I do think because Rangers hits shit on the fast forward compared to Sentai. This season is almost a full 10 episodes shorter than Mega Ranger, so they definitely have to cut corners. I mean, some monsters, as always with Ranger adaptations of Sentai, some monsters just don't show up at all. So, but obviously we're keeping the big ones like the Psychos. Love the Psychos. Hey, kitty. And so yeah, let's get it going. Once I actually put the headphones on so I can hear. Oh, look at the pretty kitty face. Hello. Hi, baby. Hi. Why is Cassie doing all the chores? I was trying not to make a comment about Cassie doing the chores, but why is Cassie doing all the chores?
It gets dirty. We clean again. That's what happens. We clean? I don't see you with a mop. You and your
I don't see you with a mop. That's a bro. Okay, right off the bat, I just have to comment. This feels a lot like the episode of Turbo where Cassie and Ashley were fighting over that boy. In that, what I mean by that is that it feels like this episode should have happened sooner. This should have happened within the first 6 to 12 episodes of them being on the mega ship. And, maybe it was written and filmed with that in mind. We'll find out, like if we see Zane or if we see the Psychos or anything. But it feels like this is an episode you get out of the way earlier to establish character relationships and how they play off each other.
The menace will be found. Time, my liege. Time is all I need.
Time is the one thing I do not have.
I was about to say that. Time he don't got. You gotta give Melody a lot of credit. She's like adding a lot of new body language now that Astronema is brainwashed that she wasn't using before. Okay, again, why is Cassie still the one doing all the cleaning? Like, put that shit on a rotation. Ugh!
You two!
Ugh! It occurs to me they had to have Ashley and Cassie fighting because Mega Yellow and Mega Pink were fighting, and that's why the Psychos were able to isolate and capture one of them. So once again, this is a case of having to write a Ranger plot to work around the Sentai footage. But we just had the one with Carlos where they just completely ignored which Ranger it was. So I don't... Yeah, it's just... I'll think about it. I'll see if I can come up with another way I would have done this and ramble at the end of the episode. I will say again, this is a case of TJ being a good leader.
Both of you are acting like 2-year-olds. You're best friends.
He's seeing the problem and he's dealing with the problem. TJ does not get enough credit. I do like him more as a Blue Ranger than a Red, but TJ does not get enough credit. Again, great transition. Great transition to the Sentai footage. Cassie fighting Quantrongs, right to the Sentai of Psycho Pink leaping in. And right back to Ranger footage. They are blending the footage very well this season.
Certainly you don't think I'd double-cross you. You double-cross your own mother. That is, if you had one.
Isn't technically Astronema their mother?
I can't believe I got so mad at her.
She was, again, she was being kind of a bitch.
We could use your help finding her.
You're allowed to get mad at people when they're being a bitch. I'm not saying Ashley deserved to get captured, but she was being a bit of a bitch. Cassie wasn't being very reasonable herself, but she at least had grounds to be upset.
That ought to do the trick.
Explosives do solve a lot of your problems. You are a Power Ranger. Granted, explosions also are a lot of your problems, but they do solve a lot of your problems. So,
Hold your arms out. Ready? Hit.
Hold your arms out. I'll chop them off. Then the handcuffs will fall right off your severed wrists.
I think I know how we can beat the Pink Psycho Ranger. Do exactly what I tell you. Are you with me? You got it. Ranger!
Do exactly what I tell you. First, go clean the entire megaship again.
No, let me help. Stop it! I don't want your help. Come on. Stop!
You two, stop it! Forget about the cleaning. We'll do it.
We will?
We will.
Was this the girl's plan? This was the girl's plan.
Come on.
This was their plan. I also just realized their belt buckles have a little dot for their color on them.
That was perfect. Absolutely.
Nice, nice. Good resolution. Women supporting women. Love to see it. Yeah, the thing about like this episode with them arguing over chores, just as an excuse for them to be arguing, I think I would have preferred it if they did something like having them argue over the right way to handle the psychos. You know? Like, make that one change. Open the episode... Cat hair everywhere. Open the episode on the bridge with Cassie and Ashley arguing over the best way to handle the psychos. You know, do something like that, as opposed to this silly argument over chores. It's juvenile. I know it's a kid's show. But like arguing over chores is juvenile, and the stakes that it led to don't feel appropriate. Whereas, not to always compare to the Sentai, whereas in the Sentai, Mega Pink, who had a crush on Mega Blue the whole season, thought that Mega Yellow was putting the moves on Mega Blue. And that's led to an argument between them, and it was a misunderstanding. But that's a much more personal thing, so it felt more valid than an argument about chores. But now that Psycho Pink is gone, we are going to start picking off more of the psychos. Yeah, it was surprising. I'll wait till they show it in the episode. It's the bit with the chess set where they paint all the figures to be blue.
If we mix up the colors, we'll confuse them.
He's right.
Excellent.
Yeah, they lift. Now, granted, they had to lift a lot of the Rangers' battle strategy from what the Sentai did for the Mega Rangers to make the Sentai footage work. So yeah, they had to pull the battle strategy for the Rangers directly from the Sentai. Otherwise, using the Sentai footage wouldn't make sense. But the way they also did it, like directly with the chessboard, and in a little bit in the episode, spray painting the pieces blue, is just. It was so surprising to see that in the Sentai and realize just how much they copied the homework when they were making In Space. Nut shot! Oh, I forgot how much Mega Blue likes the nut shots. Again, at least the Mega Ship actually has some semblance of a medbay. Who filmed this? I'm gonna assume Decca has camera drones that follow the Rangers during the fights. At this point, I'm not even surprised that they also copied the TV losing the color to give him the idea of making them all the Rangers the same color.
Make that 3, 4, 5.
None of you are even disguising your voice. I'm amazed that the girls aren't still wearing skirts and it's just not being commented on. Okay, where did you get the new weapon? Like, getting the suit is one thing, but where did you get the new weapon from? That is a good look for Zane.
And right now, when it's 6 against 1, I'm glad I'm not standing where you are.
That is a good look for Zane. He looks good in that suit. There's also a great interview I saw on TikTok. On TikTok, I saw a clip from a Comic-Con panel where Justin, the actor for Zane, was talking about how much nicer it was to wear the Psycho Silver suit because of essentially the codpiece that goes around the hips and groin of the Psycho suits. The one right there, right below the belt buckle. Because the Ranger suits don't have that. So you feel a little... And I wear a Spider-Man suit. So I wear compression clothing for that exact reason. Because you feel a little exposed sometimes.
Adjust the thermometer. Right.
The thermometer. Right, because it says it right there. I was going to make a joke about just call it the thermostat, but in the Sentai footage, it is clearly labeled the digital
Hey guys, it's working.
thermometer.
The ice is melting.
So, you know what? I will give them credit in that case for the silly name because they wanted the silly name to match the label that was on the screen. But that is so silly.
Listen carefully, or you'll suffer the same fate as Pink and Blue.
I'm loving the head tilt that Melody's doing for Brainwashed Astronema. It's just such a nice touch. Okay, one more episode for this disc. Might call it a night and leave the last 8 episodes for tomorrow. Might finish off this upload tonight. We'll see. Yeah, the thing... I don't mind, I know I keep mentioning this, I don't mind when an episode is like this and it copies the Sentai much more directly because it still felt more original, mainly because TJ is such a different character than Mega Blue was. And of course you have Astronema versus the Nejiri villains from Mega Ranger. So even though, like, same episode, different font, it still feels different enough. And it doesn't feel as forced to match the way last episode did, where again that fight between the girls just felt so forced. There were so many other ways to script a fight between them to give the excuse for actually getting captured, but they were just like, nah, just make them fight over chores. Kids hate chores, right? Quick intermission, and then we'll be right back with more episodes. Hello everybody, thank you for watching what is basically the upload dedicated entirely to the Psycho Rangers. I love these absolute lunatics. I love their design, I love their vibe, I love their ridiculous intensity and hatred of their corresponding ranger. Excuse me, bad timing. But we're going to keep this nice and quick to get you back to the video. So if you're watching on YouTube, obviously the same thing I always say, like, comment, share, subscribe, etc., etc. And if you want to see things a month earlier, then you would see them on YouTube. If you want to get access to the Discord, if you want to get exclusive videos like Sentai crossovers and Mike Yvonne Infinity reactions as those episodes come out, please come check out the Patreon. Link below. Same username on Patreon. Same profile icon and banner. I'm easy to find. So come check us out. We'd love to have you there. $1 a month gets you access to all that stuff I was just rambling about. And the benefits go up from there. We have the $2 tier, which gets you watch parties and lost my train of thought. The $5 tier gets you access to the full reactions of every episode, every movie, everything. So when I watch these episodes, these 4 episodes, and I upload that reaction to Patreon, I also upload the full uncut recordings of all 4 of these episodes. So you get to watch the whole show. You get to watch the whole show. You get to see all the jokes that I cut. You get to see all the rambles that don't make it in. There's a lot of rambling, like what I do at the end of this one, talking about the morphine grid. There's a lot of rambles that don't make it into the final upload, just because I just cut them for time. But, speaking of time, let's get back to it. Natural segue! Kitty! Okay, everybody, welcome back from the intermission. Let's just get right to having the cat interrupt me. Yeah, come here. I can't reach you when I have headphones on. We've discussed this. Yes. Okay, as I was saying, welcome back from the intermission. We are about to watch The Psychos Be Psycho. I was very surprised. I shouldn't have been, but I was very surprised when the Have to Be Silent episode also originated in the Sentai. That episode was fucking tense when I was watching Mega Ranger. I don't remember if the Power Rangers version of it is also tense. We will find out. Pink! Hold up. That's supposed to be pink he's crossing out, but that is clearly goddamn red. I'm just saying.
You'll hear them and descend on them like flies. They can't even morph without you knowing.
Vultures. Descend on them like vultures.
Bring them back.
That's way more intimidating than descending on them like flies. They look nowhere near as good as the Sentai human versions did. The Sentai human versions, I was not prepared for how hot they were. These ones just look, I almost want to say like generic extras. Like he looks like he could have been cast as one of Zod's minions in a Superman movie. Like, look at this. Look at this man. Look at this man here compared to this guy. I'm not trying to crap on the American actor. I'm just saying he does not look as good. I'm just saying. The acting's good. I will give them credit for that. The acting is actually really good. It's the height differences that it's really throwing me as well. Because Psycho Black's human disguise is way taller than he should be. Oh wow, she just walked right past him. That is surprisingly tense. Also, I'll point out again, Astronema knows who they are. I really wish Bulk and Skull were more prominent characters, because once again, this would be a great moment for them to come in.
I think you owe me an apology.
I think you're an old boomer who needs to shut the fuck up.
Of course, the Angel Grove Mall. Good call.
Of course, the mall. As opposed to the abandoned shopping district.
Don't be in such a rush.
Yeah, I do like the acting from these three. Yeah, you definitely don't have the numbers advantage for this anymore, Psychos. I really thought Andros was going to get the Battleizer to finish off the Psychos.
No, then you guys bail. I'm staying.
Yeah, again, the
Come on, let's get out of here.
forcing Andros to have lines of dialogue to match up with Kenta's actions is always so strange.
They're hot on the trail of those who steal your energy. Don't worry.
Okay, but isn't he also draining Zordon's energy?
You had better.
So is Astronema just, like, super draining him with the Psychos? Alright, that's it for this disc. One more episode for this upload, of course. Bulk and Skull have not gotten nearly enough screen time this season. You know, they were definitely hyping up Professor Phenomenus at the start of the season as being, like, a misunderstood genius, or, like, maybe somebody who had... Like, he even at one point invented a gadget that Ecliptor stole to use for the plot shenanigans of the week, right? But then they just fell off the map, and they just stopped getting screen time, except for occasional appearances to remind us that they're around. Now, don't get me wrong, I prefer that over them being turned into monkeys. But this would have been a great point to use them, where instead of a random clown coming in, or rather Zane dressed as a random clown, coming in as a distraction, Cassie could have run into Bulk and Skull at the mall, written down. Again, at this point, we would also have to assume Bulk and Skull know who the Rangers are, which is I've wished was the case since season 2 of Mighty Morphin. Written down, hey, I'm being hunted. I can't talk. I need a distraction. And then let Bulk and Skull do what they do best and be a fucking nuisance, right? That would have been great. I'm just saying, like, that would have been wonderful. Because my boys don't get enough screen time anymore. Okay, even though it's late, well, it's only 10 of 8, but I am old and I get sleepy easily. Also, I'm a chronic insomniac, and I'm hella stressed lately with the life. So yeah, I get sleepy. But, so even though I'm sleepy and it's relatively late from my perspective and the lighting sucks, we got one episode left for this upload. So I want to go ahead and power through it, even though I had to swap discs because this season has odd numbers on the discs and I hate that. But yeah, we're going to finish off this upload tonight, and then I'll only have 7 episodes left to watch in the morning. So, all we got left is the last episode for the Psychos. I am amazed they made it through... Oh, no, wait, this is still the same upload, yeah. So, they might not even make it through this upload. I think they're all going to be gone. Yeah. I'm rambling, because, again, I'm sleepy, because I'm old. Don't let the good looks fool you. I'm old.
Go Rangers will soon drain all of Dark Spectre's
I didn't realize it before, but her suit also got borged out when she got cyborged.
Are undoubtedly searching for their precious Mega Voyager. It will lead them straight into our trap. Finally, I will have my chance to destroy.
Wait, you were all standing together, but now these two are walking up.
Your obsession with the Red Ranger to get us all vaporized.
You are hardly one to talk. You are all obsessed over your appropriate colored ranger.
Let's rock it.
Nice, nice. I love that it that almost implies that the doorway is what's morphing them. Also, wow, that is some jank animation.
No, that can't be.
Arguably, the Psychos are Power Rangers. Do they have a connection to the morphing grid? Oh, gotta love that classic bondage vision. Ecliptor is fucking more useless than Ugande. And again, that's saying something. I again love the forced teleportation, and I have to ask, I asked it during Mega, can he only do that to people wearing red? I would assume he can only do it, like if you're wearing a red shirt, he can teleport you. If you're not wearing red clothing at all, he can't. This is possibly the Sentai heaviest footage episode they've had so far for In Space. Huge chunks of this. Like, literally anytime they haven't been showing the Rangers' faces, it's basically just been Sentai footage. I think they did. I was wondering this in the Sentai as well. I think they did actually get... I do think that the Psychos got even bigger. Because, like, look, they're looking down, and the Megazords are clearly looking up. They fired that missile upwards, so the Psychos got even bigger. Oh, are we already getting the Psycho Ghosts? The Psyghosts? Or are we just getting a really tasteless prank? We're getting a very tasteless prank.
Just kidding. Can't you take a joke?
Zane, that is an excellent way to get murdered.
Yeah. Good one.
Case in point! Honestly, Zane deserved that. Do the Psychos have a connection to the morphing grid? I honestly think they might. I think they might. Because first of all, we know that non-humans can become Rangers. The Aquitar Rangers are very clearly not human. And despite what Andros said at the start of this season, oh, Earth isn't the only place to find humans. Yes, it fucking is by definition. Just because the citizens of KL, whatever number, look human, doesn't mean they are. But yeah, so the Aquitar Rangers prove that non-humans can become Rangers. Tommy, Green Ranger Tommy, proves that, and Catherine, well, no, Catherine didn't become a Ranger until after the spell was broken. But yeah, Tommy proves that you can be evil and be a Ranger. So I think however Astronema made the Psychos, I think she gave them a connection to the morphing grid. I think they are just as much Rangers as anyone else, even though they died before we got the Silence episode. Because red, black, and yellow have human forms, it's safe to assume blue and pink, Psycho Blue and Psycho Pink have human forms. They all have monster forms, but that's irrelevant for this. Yeah, I think it's... Oh yeah, also Doggy Kruger is a Ranger. Who else? What other non-human Rangers do we know of? We know of robots who become Rangers. Aliens who become Rangers. Robots who become Rangers. Spirits who become Rangers thanks to Jungle Fury. Anything that happens past Jungle Fury, RPM, and a little bit of Samurai I have no knowledge of, but I'm pretty sure Dino Charge, Dino Fury, Dino something has the bird guy who becomes a Ranger just like Doggy Kruger does. So, yeah. And just like how when the bird guy and Kruger morph. Like, where does Kruger's big dog face go inside the Shadow Ranger suit? So I think it's safe to assume that the monster versions are the Psycho Ranger's natural forms. When they morph, they get enclosed inside the suit, just like Kruger and other non-human shaped aliens do. So yeah, the Rangers, the Psycho Rangers, are part of the Morphin Grid. And just like what I was saying when Adam came back for that episode, once a connection to the Morphin Grid is forged, it's there. I would love to see in the comics at some point a team who find whatever morpher they want to attribute to the Psychos. They get the Psycho Ranger morphers and reform the Psycho team, but as good guys. That'd be fucking sick. I would love to see that. But yeah, that's where we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. As mentioned in the intermission, for those watching on YouTube, if you want to see this stuff a month sooner, get access to the Discord, get exclusives, and get access to things, more contemporary things like Aaaaand Infinity. You can do all that on the Patreon, and we would love to see you there.